Alright, look. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and there is no right or wrong opinion. However, that being said, if you didn't like Spider-Man Far From Home, your opinion is wrong. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your friendly neighborhood ELT here, and welcome to my review of Spider-Man Far From Home. Here's how this review is going to go. I'm going to first briefly give you a review with no spoilers. I'll give you my rating of the film, and then we're going to talk spoilers, because there's a lot of things we had to talk about this movie. A lot happens, a lot goes on that needs to be said, that is spoilers, in order to give you my full thoughts of the movie. So, real quick, spoiler-free review of Spider-Man Far From Home. I really enjoyed the movie. It was really great. Is it better than Spider-Man 2 or Into the Spider-Verse? No. Is it better than Spider-Man Homecoming? Yeah. It improves on a lot of things that I disliked about Homecoming, especially when it comes to the action. There is a lot more action in this movie. I felt as if the special effects in this movie were way better than Homecoming. A lot of, I'm telling you, the action sequences in this movie alone make this movie amazing. And I do have a couple of nitpicks. There are a couple of things that I wish were different, some things that I would have changed, and some things that weren't actually in the movie. For example, that one scene that we get in the trailer where he's fighting the mobsters, that's not in the movie. I wish it was in the movie. So is a scene where he's like picking up his passport and he goes to the store to get stuff, and we see that guy from the first Homecoming movie. Yeah, that scene not in this movie at all. And just a couple of final decisions that I wish were different, but all that aside, this is still a great Spider-Man movie, and I'm definitely going to see it again. Definitely on an IMAX screen, because I did not see it in IMAX the first time. I just saw it like on a regular movie theater screen. I definitely want to go see this again in IMAX, especially for this one scene or like a sequence with Mysterio and there's some illusions going down, and I would absolutely love to see that on a big IMAX 3D screen. Oh my god, I'm pretty sure it looks amazing. I definitely gotta get tickets to see this movie in IMAX. Now, as for my rating of this movie, I'm gonna give it my rating system, which is thumbs up, thumbs down, fliptastic, and trash. I am going to give this movie not one, but 2 thumbs up. I thought this was a great movie. It's better than Homecoming. Is it the best Spider-Man movie we ever seen? No. Spider-Man 2 and Into the Spider-Verse are still on the top in my opinion, but this is definitely worth watching. Mysterio is awesome. Tom Holland is awesome. I will definitely say that this is the best Spider-Man performance that we have gotten in the MCU so far. And before this movie, I would have said Civil War was the best Spider-Man performance we've seen in the MCU so far. This beats Civil War. This beats Homecoming. This beats Spider-Man's performance in Infinity War and in Endgame. This is some of the best work Tom Holland has done as Spider-Man, and I can't wait to see more of this. I really hope that they keep it within the direction that they're going, with maybe just a couple of tweaks here and there. But I love the direction they're heading in, and I would love to see a lot more of this Spider-Man on the big screen in his own movies, making cameos, maybe even his own TV show with the whole Disney Plus. I doubt that's going to happen, but I think it would be really cool for this Spider-Man to be really fleshed out throughout the years to come and see a lot more of this character, because I really dig where they're going. Alright, with that out of the way, now we could dive into some spoilers for this movie, because there's a lot to talk about. I'm not going to go through the whole entire plot of the movie in this video. I'm just going to point out some things that I thought were absolutely incredible, and maybe some things I disliked. So the movie starts off with pretty much what we saw in the trailers, and actually, like, the first half and part of the second half of this movie, we already seen the trailers. Mysterio shows up. He talks about how, yeah, I'm from another Earth, these elemental creatures destroyed my Earth, blah 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 blah. I want to destroy these elements. Nick Fury recruits Spider-Man. You know, Peter's on vacation, everything, blah 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 blah. So pretty much everything that we saw in the trailers was the first half and part of the second half of this movie. They really didn't show a lot in the third act of this movie. What they did show, they CGI'd a lot of stuff out, which is Good on Marvel, Sony, Disney, whoever you have to thank for that. Good on them for not spoiling too much. Obviously, the big twists, which we all knew what was coming with Mysterio. If you ever read a Spider-Man comic book, you know Mysterio is actually a villain, so I'm actually glad that they didn't spoil the twist in any of the trailers with Mysterio. I thought that was pretty good of them to not just cave in and be like, alright, I'm pretty sure a lot of the fans figured it out, so let's just show it. No, they didn't show it, and I'm glad that they didn't show it. So like I said, if you've seen the trailers, you've probably seen the first half of this movie. Mysterio shows up, him and Spider-Man team up, they fight the Elementals. Mysterio always seems to get like the final blow to make it look like he's the big hero. He takes out the water creature, or Hydro Man, all by himself. Basically, all Peter really does is just stop a couple of buildings from falling. They take out the Molten Man, I believe that's what they're calling him, even though he's not really Molten Man. He's like some kind of like a big lava creature. Mysterio actually sacrifices himself kind of to take him out. He dives right into the Molten Man's heart, explodes. You think, oh my god, is Mysterio dead? No, he's actually fine. And Mysterio looks like the big old hero. And a lot of people are digging him. That the kids actually give him the name Mysterio on the trip. And Mysterio just looks like a real hero, you know? He's coming off as this guy that showed up out of nowhere, and he's taking out these big Avenger-like threats all by himself, maybe with a little bit of help from Spider-Man, but again, not really. Spider-Man's just kind of like in the background, swinging around, maybe stopping a couple of things from crashing. He isn't really doing much. Mysterio is the one that's delivering all the hard-hitting blows, and lo and behold, of course, here comes the twist. Mysterio and Peter, they're talking in like this kind of like a bar thing. They're sitting there in their costumes. Peter's not wearing a mask, which is weird at first. You look at that and you're like, why isn't Peter wearing a mask? There are people around the bar, you know, they're drinking, they're talking, walking around, and he's not wearing a mask at all. So you think to yourself, why is Peter just sitting out and about, you know, wearing a costume? He's not wearing his classic Spider-Man costume, but he is actually wearing the stealth suit. And he's not wearing a mask, so you're thinking to yourself, why are you doing this, Peter? But lo and behold, it was all an illusion. You have Quentin Beck over there as soon as Peter leaves, which, oh, by the way, worth pointing out, Tony Stark's glasses, which we saw in the trailer, they're actually dubbed Edith over there. Even dead, I'm the hero. Really great. Gifted to Peter from Tony Stark. Nick Fury actually gives them to him. And they're kind of like Google smart glasses. They can do a whole bunch of different things. He can launch drone strikes. He can take out people. He could read people's text messages. We've seen this in a couple of TV spots. If you saw any of the Spider-Man Far From Home TV spots, you know what I'm talking about. But basically, Peter and Mysterio are having like a heart-to-heart talk in the bar. Peter talks about how he just wants to be on vacation, you know, get with MJ, all that other stuff. Just wants to have a normal teenager life. Doesn't really want to do that much major superheroics at the moment. So he gives the glasses to Mysterio, and is like, you know what, you could be the next Tony Stark. I'm not going to be the next Tony Stark. I really like that scene, especially when Gyllenhaal put on the glasses, because he actually kind of did look like Robert Downey Jr. for a moment there. I was like, wow, the casting of Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio was perfect, because when he put those glasses on, you could actually see a little bit of Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark in there, and I thought that was really cool, like really hard-hitting for Peter over there. You could see by the look on his face. As soon as Mysterio put those glasses on, he's like, oh man, you look just like him. So Mysterio gets the glasses, Peter leaves the bar. Come to find out that a lot of the people in the bar was all an illusion. A lot of them just, almost like the Snap, they just magically just disappear. And it's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Oh, they're illusions. And only a few people in the bar are actually real humans. Those are people that are actually working with Quentin Beck. He gives his whole victory speech about how he got the glasses. Come to find out that in Civil War, I believe? Yeah, it was Civil War. When Tony Stark had that whole little show over there, when you see the younger version of him talking to his father, that augmented reality kind of thing going there, that was actually created by Quentin Beck and all these other people that are in the bar that work for Tony Stark. So I actually kind of dig the twist, you know? Mysterio is a master of illusions, and maybe I would have preferred him to be more of a showman like he is in the comics, you know, but this is the MCU we're talking about, and I feel as if that's the problem that a lot of people have when they say that they hate this movie and they hate MCU Spider-Man because it's not really comic book Spider-Man, but you just gotta kind of come to terms, and I've kind of come to terms with this. This is not comic book Spider-Man, so why are we expecting comic book Spider-Man we're not going to get comic book Spider-Man. That's just how it is. This is MCU Spider-Man, and if you like him, that's fine. If you don't like him, that's also fine, but don't expect comic book Spider-Man to be on the big screen, because we're not going to get comic book Spider-Man on the big screen. This is a completely different version of Spider-Man within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is the MCU's version of Spider-Man, not 616 Spider-Man, not Sam Raimi Spider-Man, not Spectacular Spider-Man, not Amazing Spider-Man. This is a completely different Spider-Man. So you're going to see some different twist. And, it's kind of, smart in a way, to get some different twists, because if it's the same as the comic books, then you already know what's coming. So what's the point? If you already know what's coming, what's the point of going to see a movie if you already know the entire plot? And I actually like this twist. He actually worked for Tony Stark. He helped create those augmented reality glasses that we saw in Civil War, which Tony dubbed Barf, I believe. So he really didn't like that. They all got fired, and they're all just like, you know what, screw Tony Stark. And now, this is similar to how Adrian Toomes was in Homecoming, so some people may find this as lazy. I actually kind of liked it, they have something in common. I love Vulture in Homecoming. I thought his arc was great, probably one of the best MCU villains ever, and Mysterio is definitely right up there. Both of them kind of got screwed over by Tony Stark in one way or another. So basically, Mysterio gets back his augmented reality glasses, aka Edith, and he's going to launch a big plot in order to have another big elemental attack, so he could once again keep on building himself up as the hero. Peter finds out about this because of MJ. There's this one cool fight. Actually, there's a lot of cool action scenes. I mean, man, I could talk for hours about how awesome these action scenes were, and the CGI I thought was absolutely beautiful. But there's this one action scene with Multiman at the carnival. Peter shoots his web, and he kind of hits like something, and he's like, "What is that?" And it falls off, lands in front of MJ. She grabs it, and that's how you find out later when Peter is actually talking to MJ in that scene that we actually saw on the trailer, where he's like, "Oh, MJ, and she's like, "I'm Spider-Man." That scene right there, she pulls out what she found in the carnival, and she's like, "Oh, look, there's webs on there." So clearly, Spider-Man is in the area, and pretty much every time you disappear, Spider-Man shows up. So it's like this little device, right? And it actually falls on the ground, I believe, and that's when you see like a hologram just pop up real quick, and they're like, "Wait a minute, what the hell is that?" Come to find out, lo and behold, it's part of a drone. It's just part of the holograms that Mysterio's been creating, which I thought was really cool. Have a whole bunch of drones just like kind of like flying around that you really can't see, and they disguise themselves as holograms. So that's pretty much how Peter figures out Mysterio is actually the villain. He goes after him, and oh my god, guys, the fight sequence, or the holographic sequence, or the illusion sequence, or whatever you want to call it, the first true encounter between Mysterio and Spider-Man in Spider-Man Far From Home is absolutely incredible. I felt myself on the edge of my seat with a big smile on my face. This is something I have wanted to see in a movie for years. Mysterio just completely messing with Spider-Man, seeing all these different illusions going on. You don't know what's going on, you don't know what's real. Peter's just completely going nuts. And some people may be like, "Oh, well, he's just kind of Scarecrow now, right?" No, not really. He's not giving him any kind of, poisonous gas or anything. It's just all illusion, so it's all fake, and it's up to Peter to find out, okay, what exactly is real, what isn't real. Just a lot of iconic shots you see. You see Peter almost like in like the fun house over there with a whole bunch of mirrors around him where he sees a whole bunch of reflections of himself. You see Mysterio kind of like killing MJ for a moment over there. You get a snow globe scene, which I thought was awesome. You see Peter like almost like being buried in a whole bunch of snow in New York, but then the camera pans out and he's actually inside Mysterio's helmet. Oh my god, the scene was just so incredibly beautiful. There's so much going on, so many illusions, and then you hear like a bang, just bang. And I was like, okay, the illusions are over. Guess what? It's Nick Fury. He just shot Quentin Beck. Alright, it's over. They could arrest Mysterio, all done and over. Nick Fury goes to Peter and is like, alright, who else did you tell? We need to know about this. Peter's like, okay, I told Ned, MJ knows, maybe a couple other people in the class know because maybe they figured it out. Maybe Ned or MJ told this one, that one, the other. Find out, guess what? That wasn't even Nick Fury. That was yet another illusion. The scene is still going on, and so like, oh my god. It's absolutely incredible. All these illusions. I've waited so long to see Mysterio on the big screen for scenes like this, where it's all illusions, it's completely going nuts, you have no idea what's real, what isn't, and I thought that the scene was absolutely beautiful. The illusion scene finally comes to an end, where Peter actually gets hit hard. Alright, this was like a hard, bone-crunching hit by a train. Now, obviously, Peter, he has super strength, so the train hit, it does affect him. You see, a couple of bruises on him, a little bit of blood, and he's able to crawl into the train, and he actually kind of falls asleep from all the pain, I guess. But what a scene, man! What a sequence! And to see Spider-Man just get hit by a train and completely walk it off, we haven't seen something that badass since actually Spider-Man 2. Because when you think about it, the same thing happened in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 during the train fight with Doc Ock. If you remember, for a brief moment, he actually does get hit by a train. When Ock is holding him on the side of the train, all the rails are passing by, he just bangs his head against all the signs. Then that final train comes, Ock lets go, and then bam, he gets smacked by the train. Ock looks back, 2 seconds later, Peter's just swinging right back next to him. That's what this kind of reminded me of, only the train impact actually hurt Peter even more in this movie, because you can see he's like all banged up, he's limping and whatnot. But just an amazing sequence, I am telling you. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but the action in this movie is absolutely phenomenal, and it sells the movie alone. So then we move along with more of the scene that we saw in the trailer. Peter calls Happy. Happy comes to help him out. They have that heart-to-heart moment on the jet over there, talking about how Peter misses Tony Stark. Happy's like, yeah, I miss him too, but Tony wouldn't have done what he did if he didn't know you were going to be here after he was gone. Really touching moment over there. And then we get Peter actually creating the new suit, the upgraded suit that we've seen so far. And if you remember, I actually made a video when the first set pictures released, and I was talking about how I wasn't really that big of a fan of the suit, but it has grown on me. I actually really do like that suit. Now, when it comes to the colors of the suit, again, the red and black, I actually like it. The white logo on the back is really cool, but how much more perfect would that suit have been if it was more of a classic Spider-Man colors? Replace the black with a dark blue, and change the white Spider logo on the back to red, and just imagine that in your head. Just close your eyes and picture that in your head. Replace the black with dark blue, the white Spider logo on the back to red, and just look how beautiful that is, right? Are we picturing the same image? I'm imagining we are picturing the exact same image, because it is absolutely beautiful, and I wish it was that color. However, I do dig the red and black with the white logo in the back. Alright, so fast forward a little bit, and we get to the final fight between Spider-Man and Mysterio, which, by the way, the second half of this movie, really, really quick, as you could hear. This is the sound of me snapping my fingers. Half the universe disappeared and reappeared. Disappeared, reappeared. Anyway, let me stop goofing off. But, fast forward, we get to the final scene. Mysterio and Peter. Absolutely incredible. Peter finally takes down Mysterio by using his spider sense, or as, kind of like a joke in the movie, they call it the Peter Tingle. He finally uses that, he realizes, wait a minute. He's using all these illusions. How do I beat this guy? By using my spider sense, or Peter Tingle, by letting me know what's real and what isn't real. And I swear, this is like, it's like this one scene, like down, like almost like kind of like a hallway, kind of in a way. Mysterio's down one end, Spider-Man's on the other end. You can see he like kind of closes his eyes, because you see like the white in his eye lens just completely go black. So he's like closing his eyes, and he's like, all right, Peter, let's do this. And he is just dodging everything. That scene is absolutely phenomenal. This is why it's the best Spider-Man performance we've seen in the MCU so far. He is just jumping all around, dodging everything, punching and webbing up the drones from Mysterio. Everything is just being dodged, and that is the most badass Spider-Man we've seen on the big screen, I would say, probably since Spider-Man 2 or 3, honestly. That was better than anything we saw in the Amazing Spider-Man movies that Peter did, better than anything we saw in previous MCU movies that had Spider-Man in it. That scene was just phenomenal. So lo and behold, we see Quentin Beck get shot by one of the drones. He's laying there bleeding out. And he's like, alright, you know what? Maybe Tony Stark was right. Here you go, Peter. Take the glasses back. Bang! Uh-oh, what was that? Mysterio's actually behind Peter. He goes to shoot Peter right in the head, and Peter just completely blocks it. Now that was awesome. He just see Peter just quickly turn around, just grab his hand, completely he didn't even flinch. He just goes, bop, grabs his hand, and it's like, oh wow, he is really using that spider sense to the max at this point, and it's just, oh my god, it's just great. I just had a big grin on my face. So he stops Mysterio, and you see kind of like Mysterio kind of dies in a way. Quentin Beck is like dead. You really can't believe it though, I mean, right? I mean, come on, let's think about it here. This is Mysterio. He already lied to us about the multiverse. He lied to us about, you know, being a hero, about the elementals. So, are you honestly going to believe that Mysterio is actually dead, and it wasn't just another illusion, or maybe like a decoy or something to not trick Tony Stark's Ether glasses or Peter's spider sense? There's absolutely no way that Quentin Beck is dead in this universe. There is no way. He has to be lying about that, right? So it's assumed that Mysterio's dead. Peter and MJ have a little moment there. They hug, they kiss, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then we finally get what we haven't gotten since The Amazing Spider-Man 1. And when it was happening, it was glorious. The music was really good. I had a big grin on my face once again. We finally got another final swing. Let me repeat that. We finally got another final swing. So now it's the first Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man 1, and now Spider-Man Far From Home. 4 movies, all with a final swing. Why doesn't every single Spider-Man movie do this? I don't know, but it's incredibly awesome. The final swing was really cool. We've seen a couple of shots of it in the trailer. Peter's just swinging around New York, and I swear, this is like almost ripped right out of Insomniac Spider-Man PS4. I was absolutely loving this scene. He's flying around, he's on his phone, he's taking selfies, he's doing all these aerial acrobatics, all these air tricks, he's swinging around poles, he lands in front of MJ, and he's like, alright, you ready for this? Picks her up, they swing around, she's freaking out, roll credits, amazing, perfect, beautiful, everything I wanted in MCU Spider-Man and more. And then we get to the best scene of the movie. The mid-credits scene is absolutely freaking phenomenal. There is so much going on. I was sitting there in the theater chair, and I could swear I felt my jaw hit the floor. Because, ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves. If you haven't seen the movie yet, why are you listening to the spoiler section of this video? I don't know. Maybe you just don't care. But ladies and gentlemen, the end credits scene starts off with Peter and MJ. They're still swinging where they left off before the credits started rolling. He puts her down. We get the scene that we saw in the TV spot where she's like, "Ooh yeah, I'm never doing that again." Peter jumps away, goes on top of like a lamppost or something, and then we hear breaking news. He looks at the monitor. You see like a news report, which I thought was really cool. It's something like you would see in like Spider-Man PS4, where you get that little chime for J. Jonah Jameson's Just the Facts, and he talks about some news that's going on. So it was really similar to that. However, this was just a regular old newscaster. Some regular old news reporter is talking about this breaking news, and he's like, "All right, we got this footage from Mysterio that just came out, and where did we get it from? From this website called thedailybugle.net. As soon as they said that, I was like, oh cool, they're introducing the Daily Bugle into the MCU, that's awesome. Lo and behold, they have a video. And who's in that video? It's J. Jonah freaking Jameson. And who's playing J. Jonah Jameson? J.K. Simmons. Ugh. Oh my god. Oh my god, I just wanted to jump up out of the movie theater chair, start screaming, applauding, crying. It was just, oh my god. JK's back. J.K. Simmons is back, oh my god. But it was so great. He hasn't missed a beat. I swear, J.K. Simmons has not missed a beat as J. Jonah Jameson. He's like, it's almost kind of like a hybrid of Just the Facts with like a news style story, like a conspiracy theorist kind of thing over there. He's sitting there and he's talking about how Mysterio is the greatest superhero of all time. Spider-Man's a menace, blah, blah, blah. And then we get this video of Mysterio before he dies, or assumed to be dead. He's talking about how, listen, I'm about to die. Spider-Man's going to kill me. He's doing all these drone thingies and how all the elemental things are all fake because it was exposed at the final fight that it was a whole bunch of drones and not the actual elemental creatures. But Mysterio pretty much flips the script and is like, okay, this was Spider-Man's work. He's doing all of this. He has control of all the drones, so he doctored the video of the final fight, and he's like, Spider-Man's real name is Peter Parker. They show his picture. Peter's like, what the f... Roll credits again. Oh my god. What a movie. What a movie. What an ending. What a mid-credit scene. Wow. Where are they going to go from here? I have no idea. They have the whole identity crisis thing going over there. How are they going to change this? Is it just going to be known to the world that Peter Parker is Spider-Man from now on in the MCU? Are they going to, like, retcon it in Spider-Man 3? Or whatever they're going to call the third movie in this Spider-Man MCU trilogy? How is Peter going to change it? Is it going to be something similar to the Spectacular Spider-Man series, where I believe it was season 2, where Venom breaks into the Daily Bugle and it's like Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and they have all these different interviews? That would be actually a really cool way to start off the third Spider-Man film within the MCU. Have a whole bunch of interviews going on with Aunt May and with Peter's classmates asking them, do you think that Peter Parker is Spider-Man? Just so much going on. I really, really, really loved this movie. Like I said before, it's better than Homecoming. I liked Homecoming. However, Homecoming does have its problems. There are a couple things I would have changed. Same goes for this movie. MCU Spider-Man isn't my definitive Spider-Man. You know, in my heart, it's not the Spider-Man that I know and love. But I do like MCU Spider-Man, and I do like the direction that they're heading with in this movie. I'm really excited to see the Spider-Man 3 or any other future cameos from Tom Holland's Spider-Man in any other Marvel films. Just absolutely incredible how they were able to take the disappointments that were in Homecoming and the criticism that a lot of us had from Homecoming, and they really kind of did approve on some of it. The ones of which they could have approved upon, if that makes sense. The criticisms that we had that they were able to approve upon, they have approved upon. Now there are some other things, some other criticisms that we did have that they really can't change because it's kind of like too late. But with what they did, I'm happy with what they did. And my really only true nitpick was that we still have yet to get a name drop of Uncle Ben. I know it sounds completely, irrelevant at this point, but I really felt as if this movie would have been perfect to name drop Uncle Ben. We do get an Uncle Ben Easter egg, which we did see in the trailers, which is Peter's suitcase with the Uncle Ben's initials on there. But I think it would have been even more better if we just got a quick little name drop of Uncle Ben. That's really all I really wanted, and this movie would have been absolutely more perfect than it already was. I think it would have been perfect, the scene where Peter and Mysterio are at the bar. I think it would have been perfect if there was just one line of dialogue where Peter's like, yeah, I had a rough couple of years. First I lost my uncle, then I lost my mentor Tony Stark. See? See how simple that was? Just that one line of dialogue is all they would have needed, but you know what? I digress. I just want to get more Uncle Ben to make this more of a definitive Spider-Man in my eyes. And like I said in the non-spoiler section of this review, I give this movie 2 thumbs up. For those of you who want a more accurate score, more of a number score, I'll give this movie a solid 8 out of 10. It could have easily been a 9 out of 10 if there were maybe a couple of things that they would have tweaked out, a couple of things they would have added, like the scene of him in the Iron Spider suit fighting the mobsters that we saw in the trailer. That should have been in this movie because that scene looked really, really good in the trailer. I was hoping to see the full action sequence in this movie and was disappointed to see that it was cut out. But yeah, this movie is really good. Solid 8 out of 10. Is it better than Spider-Man 2? No. Is it better than Into the Spider-Verse? No. Is it better than Homecoming? Absolutely. I really dig this movie. I'm definitely going to go see it at least one more time in IMAX. And you know what? That's it. I really hope you enjoyed this video of me rambling on. I know it's not really the best style to review films in, but this is really impromptu, really quickly. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. And for those of you who have stuck around, thank you so much for sticking around. Hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble on. I'm pretty sure I missed some things that I wanted to say. And if you haven't done so already, just, follow me on Twitter. I'm pretty sure I'll post any more thoughts that I may have not missed up in this video. I'll probably post them up there. And who knows, maybe I'll end up actually disliking this movie at some point, because similar to how I was with The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man Homecoming, I really loved those movies at first, and then upon, second, third, fourth viewing, my opinions on those movies changed. I went from loving Homecoming and The Amazing Spider-Man 2 to only really kind of liking those movies. Not really my favorite Spider-Man movies. So who knows, maybe my opinions on Spider-Man Far From Home will change 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. Who knows? But until next time, this is your friendly neighborhood ELT. Thanks for watching, and now I am signing out.
Oh my god. I just always feel like I'm putting my friends in danger. The world needs the next Iron Man.
Are you going to step up or not?
Please click the big red button to subscribe to the channel, and then click on the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. It really helps me out when you do that, and I greatly appreciate it. Also, if you want to go the extra mile, you can join the ELT Network, and for just $5 a month, get access to exclusive loyalty badges that can be seen in comments and live chat, custom emojis, and exclusive videos and/or live streams. Or if you prefer something more physical, you can pick up some merch ranging from shirts to hoodies to mugs. You can also follow me on social media, but I must warn you, things get pretty crazy over there. All these links and more can be found in the description of the video.